and Krishanu
are going to present to you the most awaited, rib-tickling, decibel-defying
humorous speech contest for District 41.
I've been on diet for the last 2 weeks, and believe me, all I have lost is just 2 weeks.
Control, Shantini, control. The secret of success lies not in what you do, but what you stop.
Contest chair, Vikram Tata.
Well, what can I say? It's been such an eloquent introduction. I think she's been very nice to me, right? Our host today, yeah?
Yes.
And don't you think I should return the favor as well? Yeah? So I guess I can say she looks stunning, radiant, so young. Not a day over 40, all agree, right? You know, Charlie Chaplin once said, anybody can make me cry, but it takes a genius to make me laugh. And you know what we have for you today? We have 10 geniuses from 10 different divisions to really bring the house down with laughter. So can we have a big round of applause for them? Resonance 2012. Mastering Mastery. Leading Leadership. I'm sorry, I think that... Sorry, that means Mastering Eloquence, Inspiring Leadership. See, this is what happens when you borrow too many drink coupons and culture tonight. You know, a little secret for you. You guys want to know the secret? Yes? You have to shout louder if you want to know the secret. Come on, what is the secret? Okay, here it is. I already know who the winners are. Believe me. You know, Chief Judge Arvind Nair actually loved it out last night. So now you know who else has been borrowing those free drink coupons, right? So you want to know the answer? You have to know the answer. I am the contest chair, you have to know the answer. Well, here's the answer, people. It's all 10 of them. Because any contestant who makes it to district is a winner, right? Can you agree with that? Yes? It's something we Toastmasters find so easy, right? I just wanted to know, are there any advertising, copywriting, creative folks in the audience, you know? Anyone out here who does all that advertising stuff? Because these guys really make me wonder, you know, when they write all those advertising taglines, do they really think them through? Yeah? Any smokers in the audience? Yeah? It's not sex, politics, and religion. We can acknowledge it. It's alright. Let's have a raise of hands. You know, I've just heard this very interesting thing. You heard of Philip Morris, right? The tobacco company? Yeah. So the Philip Morris tobacco company has launched a new brand of environmental friendly bio cigarettes. Now I know what the advertising slogan for this product would be. For the cigarettes that don't kill the environment, just you. Bio cigarettes. Only cancer, no pollution. I guess now it's time to get down to the more serious business about taking you through the rules and regulations. But before I begin, there is one warning I need to give all the contestants. It's about a very serious breach that took place in the contest yesterday. I noticed that all the contestants were addressing the contest chair as Sir Contest Chair. A sincere request to the female contestants, please don't call me that, it makes me cry. I mean, honestly, I'm still not 30, so let's not get into this business here, right? But it's very interesting when you consider that the contestant yesterday had white hair and I were brilliant. So we just quickly go through the rules and regulations now. Okay, before we begin, there's this funky little device we all have. Yeah? All those important phone calls we want to take, all those BBMs, the missed calls, the SMSs. The SMSs that tell you won a 500 million pound lottery from Microsoft. Right? You don't want to receive those and you don't want to disturb the contestants. Okay, so please ensure that all your cell phones are switched off or on vibrating mode. There is no flash photography permitted during the contest. I do understand that a lot of these people are winners and celebrities, but please just hold that celebrity moment till the end. Once they come up on stage, a lot of photographs will be clicked. But when the speaker is on the stage, please ensure you don't disturb them in any way through photography or any other means. Now, once the contest has begun, the Sergeant-at-Arms will secure the doors. Members of the audience are asked to refrain from leaving or entering the room during the contest. If you must leave the room, please do so only during the 1 minute of silence that will be provided between each contestant. This is very critical because any movement otherwise can disturb the speaker. After the contest, please remember that no one will be permitted to leave the room till all the ballots have been collected. I would sincerely request all members of the audience to cooperate with the organizers in this regard. Now, Mr. Chief Judge, Arvind Nair, are you present here? Yes. Are all the contestants and officials in the room? And have they been briefed? Okay. Are there any questions at this point of time? Now there will be 1 minute of silence after each contestant and 2 minutes after the final contestants to allow time for the judges to mark their ballots. So Mr. Timekeeper, Mr. Jyoti, will you signal when 1 minute has elapsed at the end of each speech and when 2 minutes have elapsed at the end of the contest? Sorry, if you can just confirm. If you can just confirm that you will inform. I think maybe it needs a round of applause to get it right. I think that is a yes. Sergeant-at-Arms, please ensure that you prepare each successive contestant during the 1 minute of silence. And for the benefit of the audience, please note that this is going to be the speaking area. The order of the contest was determined earlier by having a draw of lots. I would now request that the same is put up on the screen. And I will also be reading out each name twice, along with the order. Please note, contestant number 1, Rajesh Nair. Please hold your applause till all the names have been announced. Contestant number 1, Rajesh Nair. Contestant number 2, Tushar Chaudhary. Contestant number 2, Tushar Chaudhary. Contestant number 3, Saurabh Dhara. Contestant number 3, Saurabh Dhara. Contestant number 4, Sumit Sharma. Contestant number 4, Sumit Sharma. Contestant number 5, Romeo Ningomba. Contestant number 5, Romeo Ningomba. Contestant number 6, Rohit Singh. Contestant number 6, Rohit Singh. Contestant number 7, Shailaja Ranjan Raj. Contestant number 7, Shailaja Ranjan Raj. Contestant number 8, Anshuman Singh Chauhan. Contestant number 8, Anshuman Singh Chauhan. Contestant number 9, Mehul Bhati. Contestant number 9, Mehul Bhati. Contestant number 10, Funny Bhagwan. Contestant number 10, funny, talk about it. Now we are almost at the point where we'll be kicking off the contest. But before we start, there's just one question I want to ask everyone. What do you think is the most important thing for getting laughs? Does anybody want to attempt this? What is the single most important thing to get a laugh from an audience? Yeah? Yeah, that's true. And we have a lot of them out here. But something? I would say the most important thing to get a laugh is to be okay with getting none at all. Would you agree? Because to quote from Harry Potter, but not quite, it takes great courage to stand up and address an audience. And it takes even greater courage when you have to make them laugh. You all agree? Yes. And don't you think these 10 champions that are present here deserve a round of applause? After I finished the contestant briefing today, I could notice some of them looking at me and thinking, for a guy who was a comedian, this guy was so gruff and so business-minded, no jokes, nothing. Every time I was telling them, don't mess around, follow the rules, follow the regulations. The first contestant is Rajesh Nair, like no other, Rajesh Nair.
I've been married for 10 years to the same woman who's given me 2 beautiful, intelligent and unruly children. My father is a 70-year-old retiree from the Indian Navy who's seen some serious wartime action against the Pakistanis. But at the end of the day, the verdict is unanimous. There is no force greater in our collective lives than his wife, my mother. Good afternoon, contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, and every man in this room who has a mother like no other. For the typical Indian male, his mother is an amalgamation of Mother Teresa, the epitome of compassion and virtue, Goddess Kali, the fountainhead of destruction and multitasking, and to a certain extent, even Niru Bhairav, Bollywood's queen of melodrama and suffering. Depending on the situation, they play out these roles in different quantities. I grew up in a deprived India of the 70s where there was no Indian Idol or MTV roadies to make a living. Academic excellence is all that mattered. And in these difficult times, the competitive spirit between the mothers would have put corporate rivalries like Coke, Pepsi, to shame. I remember this one time when I was in class 3. I thought I'd performed really well in my exams, and I ran off to show my mother my report. When I rushed to her, she took one long look at my report card, a quick glance at me, and cried in anguish, "Oh my God! Krishna! Govinda!" Just for the benefit of his audience, in times of great calamity, perceived or real, my mother invokes her savior, Lord Krishna, in his various avatars. What is this? Only 90% marks? What is 90% in today's times? Who will marry you? Who will give you a job? What will I show? What face will I show your father? For an 8-year-old, this was all very perplexing. And then, like a bolt from the blue, she remembered her competition. How much did Mrs. Menon's daughter Seema score? Being the naive yet sadistic son that I was, I said, 92% Amma, 2% more than me. That night, what stood between a hungry belly of mine and my dinner was a mere 2% on the report card. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the Indian male faces performance pressure from a very young age. collection of literature of the taboo kind, cigarettes, and the occasional pint of rum. Of course, they also carry legitimate college textbooks and notes as props in the act. And at this point in time, my mother played the role of Detective Bomkesh Bakshi to the hilt. She would walk in unannounced, randomly. Glucose water for anybody? No. 10 minutes later, Parle-G biscuits? Tea? No. I knew she suspected that we were up to something, but she could never catch us red-handed. And back in those days, if mobile phones existed, her caller tune would have been, every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Today, I no longer live with my parents. I'm married. But they do visit us once a while. And all is well. Until my mother enters my wife's window. The kitchen. And what plays out in front of me are scenes from Animal Planet and National Geographic. The mongoose versus the snake. The cheetah versus the deer. A battle between the hunter and the hunted. Very often it is my wife who is the hunted. It starts very innocuously with the adversaries exchanging glances and sizing each other up. And followed by innocuous statements like, oh, so you don't put brinjal in your sambar, huh? My mother decides to raise the notch a little higher. Your children are looking so hungry and weak. They haven't had home-fed food for the last few days. And then, slowly, my mother unleashes the cruise missile of verbal assault, designed for minimum wastage, maximum impact. I think you should go a bit easy on the salt. My son is reaching middle age. At this rate, you will be killing him with a heart attack. Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention to the wordplay. My son, you will be killed. Minimum wastage, maximum impact. But I wouldn't want my mother to be any other way. What she has given me are a lifetime of memories and nightmares too. But each one worth its weight in gold. I'm sure every one of you in this room has a similar story to share. At the end of the day, Indian mothers are a very special breed, like no other.
Silence for the judges. Contestant number 2, Tushar Chaudhary, the corporate Bakra. The corporate Bakra, Tushar Chaudhary.
Residence 2012 presents before you the corporate Bakras. It's completely a work of art, fiction, and the confusion that exists in this corporate world. And any resemblance to all those sitting in the front, managers, and the employees at the back, is all coincidental and accidental. 8th of August 2011. After 4 years of hard work, hardly done, only bunking, ragging, and cricket matches, I had a point to prove to this world that I am an eligible, employable engineer. I was appearing for my first corporate interview on campus. The atmosphere outside the room was highly intense, and I was nervous, waiting for me. Knock, knock. May I come in, sir? Yes, you may. The interviewer looked very strict, stern and serious. Shaking and shivering, I handed over my CV to him and he started to share. So, you're good at geography. Geography? I should have not copied the resume blindly. Sir, I just love geography. It's been my favorite ever since I was in grade 6. What's similar between Ganga, Yamuna and Brahmaputra? Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra. Sir, water. Water goes through all of them, must be fluid dynamics. Anything else that you have to say? No, sir. That's it. When did Queen Elizabeth II rule? Sir, must have been before 1986. I was born then. Which is your favorite subject? I was prepared. This question was asked to everybody before me, and they had answered boilers. I acted smart. Sir, heat and mass transfer. Why not boilers? So boilers are nothing but an application of heat and mass transfer. So if you know heat and mass transfer, you know boilers. He looked impressed and I was happy. But the next moment, I was depressed. He asked me a very simple question of heat and mass transfer, and I couldn't answer. Thank you. You may go now. Out of the first room into the second, which was the HR round, I knocked again. Knock, knock. May I come in, sir? Right across the hall, it was a huge hall with the roly-poly Mr. HR sitting right in front of me with appetizing, aromatic, appealing food, and I was hungry. Stop staring at my food and answer my questions. What if a company comes tomorrow, gives you a job, double my package, will you go and join them? No, sir. Your company being the first one to give me an opportunity, I'll stick to you. Liar. Sir, I'll go and join them. You may go now. Was that an interview? Maybe. They must have selected somebody else before me and I was like passing time. Miracles happen. And one of them happened that day. I was selected. 10 months down the line, I was supposed to join them. 5 days before joining them, I was having the worst nightmares of my life. My chemistry teacher, who humiliated me 4 years for coming late to the college, was my boss. And he was doing the same to me for coming late to the office. End result, I reached 15 minutes before time and started looking at the magnificent building in front of me. It was amazing. And the first thought that came to me was, cash. No more pocket money. I'll be earning. And suddenly, these years were deprived of a voice for 4 years. That was a female voice. I heard my name being called by a lady and I jumped. I wasted no time and to her strike that store. And she said, are you Tushar? I said, yes, ma'am. I'm Tushar. And she took me to an induction room, where the induction was taking place. The scene inside the room was ragging part 2 actually. They were all very serious. We had some sweet corporate people. Mind you, they were the only sweet corporate people I've ever met. There were some managers and other graduate engineering trainees. The induction process was 5 days long. Day 1, presentations. Day 2 was repeated presentations. Day 3 was boring repeated presentations. 4 and 5, I was sleeping. The induction process taught me a lot of stuff. One of them was characteristics of a manager. And I'm sure all of you will agree with that. There are 2 characteristics of a manager which I don't know by default they have it and hence become managers, or do they become managers and get paid? And that is ATC and STI. Any guesses? Answer to confuse and speed to influence. That's what managers do. In one of the instances, I asked one of my managers if you could tell me what's my future in this company. And he said, the company has a glorious past. We have worked in 130 nations with 7 continents, over 1,000 projects. You have a very bright future. Where's my bright future? The question was my future, wasn't it? I was confused and the answer was done. On the last day of my induction program, I asked one of the managers, can you tell me what will be my scope of work in this company? And the very next moment, I had a screen which showed a power plant and he said, this is your power plant, my boy. You own it. Anything and everything that you see is yours. From design to construction, everything is yours. I was influenced. Is that my power plant? I will work it. And the answer was again. The honeymoon period was over even before we could realize, and the induction was over. From 5-star food to canteens. From highly comfortable presentation seats to workstations. From sweet little corporate people to bosses. I was working. And the 4 lines that I heard 400 times in the first 4,000 hours of my life in the corporate world were, give your 100%. Think out of the box. Stretch yourself. Be flexible. And the worst of them all, it's all for your learning. As if the company doesn't get anything out of it. Life moved on and I worked. I gave this company everything I could. My time, my social life. And I gained a lot. Sugar, BP, a few kgs. And there was nothing else left. I was just waiting for the final day to come. The increment day. And I went to my chief with all positivity filled in because I had good reviews. With the maximum in mind, I went to him. And he did give me the maximum. Single digit number that he got. And along with that, he gave me something, which was this. You are the corporate buffer. That day I realized that the corporate might not change the way they work, but what can change is my own attitude. Ever since, every morning, when I come to the office, I have a thought process. It says, is it 5 yet? And the other thing that I keep thinking is, I pretend to work, they pretend to be. And that's how the corporate buffer is made. Over to you.
A minute's silence for the judges. Contestant number 3, Saurabh Dhara. Ridiculous cameras. Ridiculous cameras. Saurabh Dhara.
Imagine a beautiful girl with 5'6" height, a beautiful face, shiny black hairs, and with body dimensions that of 36, 24, 36. Hope I can see you smile there. Now imagine that I and that particular girl are in love with each other. Where is your smile gone? I know this is very tough to digest. But this unrealistic thing actually happened in reality. And if you're wondering how a guy with a face like me got a girl with assets like her, all you have to do is to blame a thing called Facebook. So Facebook makes it very simple for guys like us. All you have to do is to upload some Photoshop pictures of yours, in which the brightness is at its highest level, the contrast to an extent that would make this girl look as fair as me in the case. Some few months of buttering talks, and bang, the girl is in love with you. But then, my friends, not everyone finds happiness in your happiness, and you have to deal with some other things too. Like the other day, when I put this Photoshop picture of mine with my girlfriend's with China, of course, name changed. Some comments started floating in, out of which one read, I don't believe this, and the other said, stupid girl in films. And the thing that hurt me most, that all these guys with these sort of comments were my own friends. And none of them even wished me congrats. Not only mine, even her friends jumped in with the ridiculous comments. One of which said, have you gone mad? Out of all the good looking guys around, you chose this ugly looking brat? One thing that I realized that day, that cameras are one of the most elusive, destructive, disastrous, annoying invention ever existed in the history of mankind. Probably the only technology that makes life a hell lot difficult. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests. One Saturday afternoon, while I was sleeping peacefully in my bed and daydreaming about how sunny it was and I accidentally met in the middle of a lonely road at midnight, a voice in the back, which sounded like, Mr. Saurabh Dhara, CBI spotted your house from all sides and there is no way you can escape now. Surrendering is the only option left for you. Before I could react to what I actually heard, I found myself locked in a prison, situated in a place which would have been difficult for even the God himself to look at. myself and I realized that the reason I was here was that the CBI spotted a terrorist behind me in a picture which was clicked by my girlfriend when I posed for a photo like this. 3 years, guys, it took me 3 long years to digest the fact that of the millions of pictures that were clicked that particular day, the terrorist had to choose my damn photo to make himself visible. 3 more years to prove to the CBI that I was not the one who knew the whereabouts of Dawood Ibrahim. And for the last 1 year, I've been busy making them understand what the hell was I doing in the picture. And you know, then there are these documents like a driving license. Even they don't help you much either to prove your identity in such cases. If there is one thing I would like to change about the RTOs in India, it would surely be the camera they use. Because no matter how beautiful you look in real life, it makes you look like a terrorist. And then for someone like me, who in real life itself looks nothing less than a terrorist, it makes us look like the one who should be shot dead immediately. You know, one day, while I was walking through this lane, I saw an advertisement outside a photo studio where it was written in quotes, "If you are beautiful, we'll capture your beauty. If you're not, we'll make you beautiful." So after reading this, I very excitedly went inside the photo studio and asked the photographer, "Sir, can you make me look beautiful too? I read your ad outside and unfortunately I belong to the latter category of not so beautiful ones." He observed me carefully up and down like this. He would have known really my position. He anyway clicked a photo of mine and asked me to come at the evening. And when I went in the evening, he handed me a photo of a man who looked like Hrithik Roshan, but with a very strange kind of body. And when I observed it carefully, I realized that the body here was no one's but mine. And my face was replaced with that of Hrithik Roshan. What's that? I asked, "Sorry, sir. That's the best we could have done to make you look beautiful." Is what he replied. And all I could have done was to thank you to that. And guess what, guys? That particular picture has been my display pic ever since I joined Facebook, and I'm still waiting for girls to believe that the guy in the picture is none other than me. Now, talking about girls, I remember this incident that took place on this Valentine's Day when I took my girlfriend out for a date. Oh yes, by the way, I do have a girlfriend. Somehow I just managed to have fun. So hand in hand, me and my girlfriend headed towards a coffee shop and sat on the table facing each other. Behind me was sitting a girl, which I thought was far more better than her. Given the beauty of the day, it took me no time to show my girlfriend the love I had for her. I started staring at her. I started adoring her. I started caressing her. I didn't realize that I got a bit carried away and my left hand went backwards and started caressing the girl sitting behind me. But without my girlfriend being able to notice it. But if only I knew that she had a boyfriend facing me. All I remember was that I received 6 slaps and 3 punches after that, out of which 3 slaps were from her, 3 were from her. And those 3 punches, damn, bodybuilder it was, the boyfriend she had. It didn't really hurt me much though, because I knew I deserved them. But the thing that hurt me most was that some super genius at that very moment was out with his camera and a flash and comfortably managed to capture this great event. And then the deadliest combination between Facebook and these pictures happened. And unfortunately, that photographer genius and I have 4 mutual friends. 300 likes and 400 comments is what those photos got. Probably the only picture of mine that deserved likes and comments is what they thought. I never had a girlfriend since then. And with this little face and that little scandal at the coffee shop that took place, I wonder will I ever have fun. Damn, camera, the culprit. Contestation.
A minute silence for the judges. Contestant number 4, Sumit Sharma. Made in India. Made in India, Sumit Sharma.
was chirpy and bright, but Geeta always picked up the slack. All these lovely ladies have a very special place in my mind and my husband's heart. Ex-girlfriends? No, no, no. Some other women in his life? They better not. These lovely ladies, the angels of peace, the drivers of harmony, are the maids at my home. And in case you're wondering why that special place, because if they were not around, guess who would have been scrubbing, mopping, cleaning, cooking? Obviously, my husband. Mr. Contest here, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, demanding wives, submissive husbands, and all you bachelors, including you, Shashank, who wake up only when the maid constantly rings the doorbell. Welcome to the world of indispensable maid. 5 years down the line in my marriage, my husband figured out the perfect gift for our wedding night. Not the baby he gave later. The gift was a fully functional, fully trained, full-time maid. Yes, can you believe that? And life changed. Piles of dirty laundry disappeared. Cobwebs in every corner vanished. We could finally open the door and welcome guests home. After years and years of hoarding Sodexo coupons, feeding on McVeggie burgers, and putting the Domino's number on speed dial, we now had home-cooked food that took 3 square meals a day. Can you believe that? And life was so different. When my maid handed over my lunch bag in this eco-friendly resonance bag and said, "Have a good day, madam." Madam, my ego would swell with pride. I call that the madam's pride. And at my office, my boss had always been pestering me. Sumit, what matters is what you have to offer. What matters is what you bring to the table. Mr. Manager, my answer was hair. I bring to the table some yellow lentil, some mixed vegetable, some chapatis, apple raisin yogurt, some seasonal salad, a pre-lunch fruit, some post-lunch snack, and not to miss, some sundaes for the sweet dish. Life was perfect, and I became so famous for my advice on how to hire, train, retain, and sustain maids. I even updated my LinkedIn status saying advisory QA engineer and maid recommendation specialist. So there I was. I had every time chicken biryani was made at home. But I decided not to vent, enough of it, and I increased her workload. Gayatri, can you get me a glass of water? Something like 50 times a day? Gayatri, can you please change the TV channel? Gayatri, can you please count my hours and hours? I knew she was feeling the heat, I knew that. But one fine morning, when I woke up, there was no bed tea. I shouted, Gayatri, where's my bed tea? Gayatri, you there? There was no response. I looked everywhere, in the balcony, in the washroom, the bedroom. I looked under the tables, besides the sofa, behind the curtains. She was nowhere. Can you guess what happened? She had left. I felt like a VP education whose general evaluator is stagnant. But I put together myself. Cobwebs came back and piles of laundry was here. This time I had nothing to bring to the table. vote on her behalf. Now, best part, not only can she count my hours and hours, but she can also play the timer too. Life is on the right track, but I still miss public. And I get nightmares of she running away. I realized that the greatest fear for me is not the fear of death. It's not even the fear of public speaking. It's the fear of losing a mate. The answer to this I found in my Almighty, and every night I pray, thank you, Lord, for the food and tea. Thank you, Lord, for the maid that you gave me. Bless my maid on a cleaning stream so that my husband can be slightly free. Let my maid never run away from me, and I shall pray each night in dream, and I shall pray each night in dream.
A minute's silence for the judges. Romeo Ningomba, an idea called India. An idea called India. Romeo Ningomba.
July 2001. Place Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. One of the most memorable days of my life. My first day in college. As with everybody, I introduced myself. Stood in front of the whole class. My name is Romeo Ningomba, and I come from Manipur. My class was showing a great sense of hospitality, but extremely poor sense of geography. Responded, "Welcome to India, sir." Postmaster and all my fellow Indians out here. 4 years of engineering, after staying with friends from all over parts of India, I have realized that India is indeed a land of diversity. It's like a big tree which grows multiple fruits. 60 fruitful years of independence, the tree has now 4 different types of fruits, representing 4 different types of people. The first type, the simple and sweet, the mango almond. They are very simple people, and they do not understand anything beyond their small world. I had a lot of mango people in my class. In spite of my thick Manipuri accent, I had perfect 50-50 communication with them. They could understand 50% of what I spoke, and I could understand 50% of what they spoke. One day, a miracle happened to me. The most beautiful mango girl came and started speaking to me. Thanks to my awesome personality, the super romantic name, yes! She said, "Romeo, you're such a hard-working guy. It's just such an odd habit, difficult to give up. How did you manage both studies and job at the same time?" What? Job? Did you say job? Yes. Are you not a waiter in mainland China? Take advice from this Romeo. When it comes to mango bird, never believe in miracles. Moving on to the second type of people. They are the result of the great globalization policy. The cool and the complicated, the people in the corporate sector. And I call them the Apple people. The more Apple product you have, the more respect you get. Ambitious people. All of them want to become CEO, and they become CEO. Cool English only. Friends become dude. Money become bucks. Police become cop. And the coolest part is the last This is one expression which I never understand. When somebody say LOL or ROFL, I can imagine the expression of the person. But when somebody say LMAO, laughing my Postmaster has all different types of people. What are types of people will have a postmaster? Look at Ritu madam, iPhone, Apple people, staying in a Swiss hotel. Look at Rubin sir, Mango people, staying in a budget hotel. They are strong and supreme, the powerful, the politicians. And I am coconut people. Heart outside. And they are the good of Murphy's Law. If anything has to go wrong in this country, it will go wrong, and politicians make sure that it goes wrong. But remember, friends, before we do anything auspicious thing at home, what do we do with the coconut? Yes, if you have to do anything good for this country, you have to pet this coconut. They are the beautiful, the one and only, the famous and the fabulous, the Bollywood people. Salman Khan, Malika Shah, because of Vasu. I know the banana. In order to show the real value, you always have to peel off the outer cover. Promise for a good banana can win us the World Cup cricket. Remember Pulam Pandey? The best banana the country never had. If you are thinking which type of foods you are, it really doesn't matter. All it matters is that however much different we are all bounded by the same idea. For India. We all grow in the same tree. We all cheer for the same team. We all stand for the same song. We all salute the same flag. And we all dream of the same girl.
Contestant number 6, Rohit Singh. Do you want a partner? Do you want a partner? Rohit Singh.
I was at my friend's wedding when I saw all my friends are now married. I got rejected. Am I too old to get married now? Am I the only bachelor left on this planet? I immediately logged on to Facebook to check the marital status of all my friends. And my fear came true. Each one of them was either married, about to get married, were dying to get married. Just I and my competitor Mitchell, a Stanford graduate, were left unmarried. I don't like standing last in the queue, and this might be my only chance to defeat a Stanford graduate. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, that night I went back home, unlocked the door, and shouted at my mother, "I want to get married! I want to get married now!" She frowned at me and asked, "Why?" All my life, I had dreamt that my mother would bring photos of pretty prospective brides, and I will reject them all. But then, how can I tell my mother that because everybody is getting married, I want to get married too? I remember scolding her years ago when she asked, "Everyone is scoring good in maths, why aren't you?" So to give her a real reason, I brought all my friends home and asked them one simple question. "Friend, why did you get married?" "Ah, the pretty girls are getting married, so I too jumped the bandwagon. Offer valid till stocks last." Doesn't that sound too desperate? Friends, doesn't that sound too desperate? Yes. I am desperate! Don't you see I am desperate? I asked my other friend, Shiny, why did you get married? My hands were tired of cooking food and washing clothes every day. At least now I can afford a maid. Shiny and his maid. But friends, I'm sorry to say, even with my mere salary, I can still afford a maid. Next, I wanted someone to blame for all my mistakes. I wanted someone to take silently responsibility of all my misdeeds. I wanted a woman in my house. Even my mother doesn't like politics in this house. No chance. Next, I'm a happy-go-lucky person. I never had any problem in my life. So to know what pain is, I got married. Pain? Friends, I know what pain is. After all, I am a Toastmaster. The last time. Dowry. I have reached such a condition where in fact, I have to give dowry to get married now. Then suddenly another friend pops up and says, "I wanted revenge for my girlfriend." So I got married to her. Unfortunately, friends, I have been single since past 30 years. We had a long day's discussion. We couldn't get to an answer. Friends, mother's heart broke for her son once. The next day she came to me and handed me a card. It read, "Hair Loss Treatment Center." She winked at me and said, "We'll take care of the rest." From next day onwards, the bride hunt started. Phone calls were made, relatives were summoned, horoscopes were matched. My profile was posted on all matrimonial sites. Smiling passport size photo, taken 3 years ago. From Manglik girls to caste no bar girls, from widows to divorcees. For the first time in my life, I felt deeply desirable. Even my mother would not shout at me when I would sleep with so many photos of girls around me. But this could not last long. My parents wanted me to meet a different girl every weekend. No, that's not the problem. The problem is the overnight calls which I had after that. Hello? It didn't work. Within a month, friends, I gave up. This was not a field where I could compete with anybody. This is not a field where I can match speed. Friends, this is a decision and a responsible decision for a lifetime. This happens once in a lifetime for most of us. Obviously, I was past the age. But if you still have time in your hand, do not worry. Take as much time as you want, no matter what your age is. Take the plunge when you are ready. Especially for girls, it's an important decision. So girls, my number is 9503650293. Thank you.
Minute silence for the judges. Contestant number 7, Shailaja Ranjan Raj. All for that elusive seat. All for that elusive seat. Shailaja Ranjan Raj.
All the characters in this speech are going to be in a vibration mode. I need to say in a running mode. Any resemblance to any person running, living or dead is not coincidental but intentional. If you think I've invited you here in Kolkata to play a kabaddi match with you, no. Neither I'm practicing for my first Kathak performance. Neither these are the Toastmasters running out of a table topic session. People whom you just saw running are the ones who are rushing into the metro train to get that elusive, exclusive seat. I will repeat, to get that elusive, exclusive seat. Contest here, Toastmasters and my respective, prospective and suspective metro travelers. November 10, 2010 was a day of reckoning for me. Not because I was born on that day, neither I got married. On that fateful day, I had an intense, intimate and an emotional encounter with the Delhi metro. Having shifted my residence from the western part of the Delhi to the eastern part of the Delhi, I have to now travel in the metro and my office was in Gurgaon, a city near to Delhi. I asked a friend of mine who was a veteran metro traveler. I asked him from which station of Gurgaon I should catch the train from. Shailaja, catch the train from Huda City Center Station. Why? Because you can get the seat. Did you hear that? He said you can get the seat. He didn't say you will get the seat. So here I was standing in front of the station with a vision of having that empty seat. My hardest vision crashed the moment I saw a big line waiting to enter the station itself. For a moment it seemed as if I was standing in front of Hanuman temple on a Tuesday evening. You are right, that's the reason they call it metro. After giving pace to my leg for 20 minutes, I finally reached the platform. My great American motivation turned into a great Indian depression. I had never seen so many people concentrated at one place. People were not standing with each other, people were standing on each other. see a sense of motivation, a sense of passion passing across the people like a Mexican wave. Ooh la la! As I was looking at it, the train came, the train stopped. In the meantime, what I see was people's body posture and body language changed, and they looked something like this. For a moment, they looked like those eagles, the hungry ones. For a moment, they looked like those bulls going to charge at you. The train came, the train stopped, and people conquered. A 5 feet tour of a metro train. 50 people trying to get into it from all human possible angles. Not less than a Guinness Book of World Record. The result? 15 tried, 20 succeeded, 30 survived. And the 20 who went inside, their only objective was to get that seat. Let me repeat, to get that seat. For ICU. From the gate to the seat, they must have achieved a speed of 150 kilometers per hour. The world's fastest man, Usain Bolt, would not have been bold enough even to try to run. For a moment it seemed that the only purpose of these people was to get that seat. It seemed the only purpose they were living on this earth was to get that seat. It seemed the only purpose they were living on this earth was to get that seat. I had seldom seen such a purposeful action in my life. Purposeful action? First time. If my grandfather would have been alive, it would have been the second time. The first one was freedom struggle. Guests who plan to visit Delhi very soon in the future, please expect this. There is no God, there is no guest, there is no Aditi Deva Bhava. In this story, we are missing a character who is the chair, the seat of the metro train. How insensitive we are on that seat. Imagine for a moment that seat is you. You are there as a seat. And the door opens and people chasing at you at 160 kilometers per hour to come and sit on you. And how do you react? You say, and you go and commit suicide. In the freedom they must seem to be talking to each other and saying, I want to resign from this job. Enough of it. Then that day, I was the last person to enter the metro train. Let me tell you, it was not easy. It was like walking on fire. I found this place. And I stood there like a monument. I didn't move. It had to be a monument. It was such a monumental journey. But friends, that was 2 years back. Today things have changed. Because now, I've become competitive. Because most of the time, I get the seat, that elusive seat. And this 2 years of journey have been incredible for me because it has given me a lot of learning. Planning to write a book on this, something like Robert Sharma wrote, The Man Who Sold His. My book, The Man Who Chased for His Feet. 2 learnings. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Second, let me show it to you. Got it? Survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. Contest chair.
A minute silence for the judges. Speaker number 8, Anshuman Singh Chauhan. Learn from party. Learn from party. Anshuman Singh Chauhan.
August 2001, first day of my engineering career, and I was rushing for things because I was already late for my first class of mathematics. And I was late. And as soon as I dashed out of the room, I saw a naked man. He was taking bath at the public sink. And I said, dude, this is not the right place to take bath. And he said, buddy, you don't need the right place. You need water to take bath. I was impressed and horrified at the same time. So I asked him, what's your name? And he said, my name is Party, the one with an eye. I said, what? Party? Strange name. Okay, talk to you later. I went for the class. The class started. The class was halfway through when we heard a knock on the door. It was that same guy. And he entered. May I come in, sir? So I said, yeah, please come in. Why did you get late? He said, the college bus got late. And he stayed in hostel, which was in the same premise. Sir asked, okay, excuse me, where do you stay? And he proudly stated, I stay in hostel. He went up, he came to me, he sat there, and I was still amazed by his name, Party. I asked him, what is your name? He said, Party. No, what's your real name? He said, Bhargavi Pandey. Oh, then why Party? And then the sir started talking, and to show me down, he said, can you please stand up? And I stood up there. And he asked the whole class, okay children, tell me, what do we call a person who doesn't listen? And then Party stood and said, sir, you can call him anything. He anyways not listening. Mr. Contest Chair, distinguished guests, worthy judges, and my fellow Toastmasters, when it came to participation, Party was second to none. The spirit of participation is something that we all have to learn from Party. Things progressed. It was 14th of August, we had a birthday at 12. From 12, we used to enjoy 12 nights. And we would enjoy the lights were put off and there were torches going on like this. And suddenly a man appeared. It was Party. Another time. We all knew he was not a good dancer because he repeated the same step for the next 20 minutes. And then he was not to be seen. So a search party was sent to find him. And he found him in his room, practicing what he called as his signature step. The next morning, we had the first function of our college, 15th August, and Party was nowhere on the agenda. And the first thing we saw, that was Party, and that's his spirit of participation. When the college went, I was in electronics. And I went into IT now. So you can imagine how I did my engineering. We were into electrical viva and we were called in a pair of three. Anshuman, Bhargavi Pandey, that is Party, and then Gomez, the third guy. We were sitting and there was a lecturer who had 40 years of experience when he came. And he started from Gomez. Okay Gomez, tell me, how does a three-phase motor work? And Gomez, don't worry, son, go. And you already saw the expression of Party's face. Don't worry, son, I'll ask you a simple question. How does a fan work? What are you doing? Sir, honestly speaking, I don't know the answer. But I'm trying to derive it now. Well, that was Party. Years passed. We had to go for our industrial training. Party went to Hindustan Copper Limited, which is in K3, Rajasthan. And before he had to present what he had learned during the training, he came to my room. My room in the night, I was horrified. What happened? See, listen, this is the question that you have to ask me. Okay, after my presentation, I said, dude, that's smart. That's really smart. I mean, you have your guys sitting there asking you the questions that you really want to answer. And you like, son, wow, great. So next day, Party started his presentation. Well, I went to Hindustan Copper Limited, Helsinki, and we saw that they had transistors, transistor 1, transistor 2, transistor 3, 4. Professor said, what else? 5, 6, 7. Okay, did you see anything else? Yes, sir. Diodes. Diode 1, diode 2, 3. Anything? 5, 6. Party continued. Well, then was the round of questions. And I was the first one to say, sir, I have a question. He said, okay, Anshuman, ask the question. To that I said, got the paper out, and the question read, how was the weather in K3? Sorry, sir, that was my mistake. I really don't have any questions. It was the last day of my engineering. I was very much overwhelmed by this feeling of party, the feeling of participation, to be there, to be present, to try things out in the end. And I went to party and said, buddy, why on earth would you ever make fool of yourself throughout the engineering career? And party said, you know Anshu, a person who takes himself too seriously always runs a risk of looking ridiculous. But a person who can consistently laugh at himself does not. And we partied. Oh, sorry, over to the Congress chair.
A minute's silence for the judges. Contestant number 9, Mehul Bhati, 0 investment profession. 0 investment profession, Mehul Bhati.
I am a software engineer, but my life is worse than a street dog. My manager throws dust as if I am a dog, all set to catch the ball. And I go breathlessly, just to make sure I achieve those deadlines. You know, I also had a girlfriend who, for me, was even ready to die. But these days, she is searching for some other guy. And believe me, if I don't change my profession, she'll be saying, bye-bye. Contact Duster, as he is the one who is dating her, ladies and gentlemen. So I decided to kill her. Not me, but my profession, and consulted a pundit. He said, just take a dip in Gange and greet the first person who come in God. He will solve all your doubts for consultancy. Get 500 rupees out with no clue what he meant. But the very next day, I was at the heart of Ganga. After taking a dip, waiting for that first person to greet, and all of a sudden, a voice pierced my ears. Give on the name of God, Baba. Shocked to see a beggar, I cried in typically Takapur style. How can a beggar tell me about a profession? No, no, no. Seeing my reaction, he said, Chinna, I am Chinna Swami, Mutta Swami, Ranga Swami, Sel Raj, distinguished beggar. A day of training, and you can be a competent beggar. To which I replied, I am an engineer. Okay, I be a beggar. To which he said, Ayyo, politician, beg for a vote. Officially take bribery of all sort. Immigration, reservation, increasing exponentially. For engineers like you and me, they can become profession eventually. Very much. Now, all of a sudden he said, Teri ma, I was like, you are very young. Are you abusing my very mother? Teri ma is Tamil means, do you understand? Oh, Teri ma. And without my prior approval, he blasted. District officer, distinguished beggar, Prasad, guidelines to be followed. Please do make use of religion, politics, and sex as much as possible. Don't hesitate in making derogatory remark when a person does not pay you. And lastly, it's your profession, so enjoy it to the fullest. During the entire session, I was begging Prasad to give me a single chance to speak, being a Toastmaster myself. But yes, this inspired Prasad, and he made me beggar on duty for the very first day. He provided me with blind man's costume and an agenda that read 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. railway station. Very excited for the same, I quickly dressed as beggar and moved towards the local bus stop. But the local bus just moved, and my heart, typical Indian woman, cried, "Why this happens to me? Why is full of identity?" But then, seeing to that crowd around, my brain said, "Mamma Mia!" And without any further, I started from one end of the queue. My eyes are thirsty. Then all of a sudden a sound came. Hun! Followed by yet another sound. Hun! Hun! Oh! This was coins dropping. And my heart and brain danced in unison. Hun! 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 By the time I reached the end of the queue, I made approximately 150 rupees. And though these poor passengers who gave me hands were still waiting for their local bus to come, I quickly took an auto and moved to the railway station. Here, I opted for an 80-year-old kid and it started all again. Babuji! My kid is hungry from fast food, Babuji. Buy us some milk. And when this kid noticed person's attention, he all of a sudden jumped, "Babuji! Chapati, Babuji!" We got milk, biscuit, bread, and chapati. You must be thinking that dinner was set. But then we sold it back to the shopkeeper and made good money. This continued for a year. And today, I have bungalows, cars, and unlike Amitabh Bachchan of Diva, I have number of largest beggar. Not just this, today I am a TV, distinguished beggar, mentor 42 clubs in Kolkata and Bhubaneswar. Today I am here in Swiss Hotel to start yet another begging club. So all of you not interested, please raise your hands. Oh, that's a great response. Only few days means rest are ready. And also, a request in my mentor Mr. Selvaraj this time. Judges in the audience, please beg me some highest point so that I can inspire people across country to join begging club. Also, I advise from my side. They have been 3 professions: fun-filled, money-making, and zero investment. Begging! 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 And I'm proud of you.
Silence for the judges. Tally counters go around by collecting the balance. Well, what can I say? Didn't you really see 10 villas up here? We all agree, right? So, the final speaker for the day is Pani Bhagwan, contestant number 10. The beautiful melodrama. The beautiful melodrama, Pani Bhagwan.
Recollecting school memories is like holding on to the things that you love and the things that you never want to lose. It is for the first time in school that you to make friends that you experience, love it, first night, first sight, and learn the very first lessons of life. Contest chair and fellow students, my school life had three beautiful aspects. Number one is teachers. Some teachers kill language. One such teacher was our electrical gadgets teacher. There are basically two chiches, positive chich and negative chich. When you connect these two chiches to a multi-vibrator, you get a big chich. No, we got to know the real meaning of chich, and he actually said, chichon. Next in line is our physical education trainer. One fine day, he ran into our class and then announced, "My dear boys and girls, this Saturday we are going to have a kiss competition. Expecting the best of your participation." The moment boys heard the word kiss, they started looking towards girls. And girls started looking down. Meanwhile, one fellow from the crowd ran across to submit his nomination. And today, the fellow is known as Branch. Some teachers display sophisticated sadism. One such teacher was my principal. My principal is from Indian Army. He feels that everything in this life should start on time and end on time, even a nature problem. Okay, so we are discussing about environmental pollution. So environmental pollution, my dear children, is basically divided into various categories. What do you want? Say nature. Control. So environmental pollution, my dear children, is basically divided into various categories. What's your problem? I will not be controlled. Say, I cannot allow you. This should have been done in the morning itself. You did not do it, which means you lack discipline. I cannot allow you. You go wherever you want and do whatever you want. And remember, everyone, it is always important in life to control certain things which are uncontrollable. I cannot control. Show me how to control. This way, you are not used to control our emotions, but also our nature thoughts. Beautiful aspect number 2 is girls. Oh my fish, look at her legs. I love her. The tall girl is lost and short girl is not. Cutscene, Enter the Dragon, our chemistry teacher. This class is a very lazy, lethargic class I have ever seen in my life. People are not even getting up and wishing me. Okay, students, we were discussing about ozone layer pollution. So, let us know what is ozone. Ozone is basically a combination of 3 oxygen molecules. See what the fellow is doing. Hey, get up. Hey, you buffalo, get up! What kind of thing is that? You want to eat that? You want to eat those guns? Don't look at them, look at me. Don't study guns, study books. Are you going to sit down? In this way, he used to curb our temptation to see those beautiful girls again. And the final beautiful aspect, examinations. When it comes to examinations, students are very clear. They come in full self-preparation, dances all over their body. One such a friend of mine was Siddharth. Pull me back, pull me back. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. 4, 5, 6 kids saying, "Kul beta, kul! Kul beta, kul beta." Writes exam and comes out. Very difficult. Very difficult. Very difficult. Siddharth, how did you write it? They've asked me something which I don't know. So I wrote something which they wrote. By the way, what is that subject? I think it's physics. The moment he said physics, I maths teacher got failed because I was maths. So in this way, we take revenge on teachers who conduct examinations. Even though teachers scold us, we learn something from them, we respect them. Even though we see many girls, we marry one girl. And somehow, we manage and pass our examinations. School life is all over, but I still can't get over that fact. I still want to be a part of this beautiful melodrama in the midst of all these beautiful characters and watch them play. Go back to your homes, churn out these memories, and cherish them. Because there is only one life and one school life. And now, I can thank my principal. It is because of him how I can proudly assure you that I can finish my nature talk in 17 seconds exactly. I know you people don't believe me. Taiwan, come with me.
Silence. Contest? Yes? Possibly the same might not be said about the contest chair who did this one contest. Well, maybe I'm just turning old and I forget things. Sorry about that. But would you truly say that this was one of the most incredible contests we ever seen, that each speaker really tried to drop the next one? And you want to agree with that? Yes? So do you think the audience a big round of applause? Now, each contestant definitely came out and gave their very best. But do realize that there's also a whole team of people that's kind of working in the background to ensure that each contestant gives his best, and I just like to acknowledge each one of them. So can we just have a big round of applause please for the timers, Pinaki Das, and Karika Saleh, the Sargajit Rams, Jyoti Kumar, Subendra Mazumdar and Saurabh Gupta, Tally Counters, Prasad Sobhani and Paul Tyagi, and the contest member Abdul Rahim. And I believe since all the contestants are in the room, I'm sure you'd like to know something about the contestants, right? Yeah, what they're all about, what are the ideas, how they come up with these incredible ideas that make all of us laugh, right? You have to know that now, right? Yes? So can we, start having maybe the contestants on board? I'll be calling them across in the name of which they had presented their speeches. And each one of them will be getting a participation certificate as well. Something to cherish, like we said, even participating at district level is indeed a big achievement. So in that order, can we have the first speaker on stage? A big hand for Rajesh Kumar Nayak, please. So Rajesh, I noticed that you said one of your interests is traveling, seeing newer places, spending time with family, and stand-up comedy. Now, do all these things happen because of the interplay between the wife and the mother? I mean, is that how it works?
Traveling is something that I've been doing for a very long time. And typically I go with the travels happen with the family. Stand-up comedy, you're right, as a wife, as a mother, they form a large part of my content in terms of what I put in front of the audience. So yes.
Can we give it up for the stand-up comedian? Yes. He says struggling stand-up comedian. Next speaker was Tushar Chaudhary. So Tushar, I noticed that you said your notable accomplishment is surviving the corporate world for 4 years. And at the same time, your interests are cricket, F1 and Toastmasters. So in what exactly you have been surviving? I don't think you go to office at all.
Yeah, I do go to the office. I joined in 2008, that was the summer, right? I joined it. So yeah, I joined the office in 2008 and had So in 2008 I joined, there was some prime connections, a lot of people were fired out of the office and I survived. And again in 2010 the same happened and I survived. So I think that somehow managing to survive even a double shot.
So let's give it up for the survivor, right? Okay, our next speaker is Saurabh Dhara. Yeah, let's have a big hand for Saurabh. Something about ridiculous cameras, and how the whole concept of photography is so ridiculous. And yet, the name and address of the newspaper where you want your photo printed, you mentioned out here, Times of India, Brand Equity, and 3 other newspapers where you want your photo. Is there some contrast or some unclear thought there? Okay, I'm saying that while your whole speech was on ridiculous cameras, but you also mentioned Times of India as a place where you want your photo to get published. So is there some contrast happening that I'm not aware of?
Published in the newspaper, I put the text on it.
So even in a photographic world, we have somebody who still believes in the written word, right? And I think that deserves a round of applause. Our next speaker was Sumit Sharma. You mentioned some of your notable accomplishments are mom to a toddler, a president at PB Toastmasters, and yet remaining sane. You might want to comment on that.
Mom to a toddler, you try to run away from it, you go to the office, and try to run away from it, you land up at Toastmasters, so there's no relief anywhere. It's kind of difficult doing all together and still remaining sane.
So here's somebody who deals with difficult toddlers both at home and also with the Toastmasters audience. Let's have a big round of applause for that as well. Our next speaker was Romeo Ningoma. Romeo, you mentioned painting, running, trekking. But what I don't understand is why is speaking not something that you mentioned as an interest? Because you certainly spoke about a lot of things today. I guess sometimes you do stand-up comedy unintentionally.
Well, to be frank, I was not even ready to participate for this HumorousSpeechContest. Because Padma sir forced me to participate in the club level. Somehow I something happened.
In your interest, you just mentioned sports. And is looking for a partner also a sport, or is that something that you would consider?
Because in sport you can finally achieve your goal. Here I am yet to achieve my goal, so shifting this is sport.
Getting married is your goal?
Finding a partner is your goal. Marriage is not on cards. Marriage.
Short term or long term?
Again, beggars are not choosers, so
I think we'll do all these alliances after the meeting, right? Our next speaker, Shailaja Rajan Raj. You mentioned in your interest that notable accomplishments, it says, not yet. I mean, don't you think that getting into the metro train and surviving would be a notable accomplishment?
audible. Still traveling, so some more stations to cross before I can write something there.
When he comes and catches, there are local in Bombay, right? I think that's when you think we have a notable accomplishment.
Probably I'm just going to the semi-finals. Surely Mumbai have definitely.
Okay, the next speaker was Anshuman Singh Chopra. Mentioned observing my time, spending time with my parents and wife, and thinking. I mean, what exactly are you thinking?
Well, when I observe my son, I often see a lot of similarities on the habits that he is doing. And I often get afraid thinking that he might turn out to be like me.
So here we have somebody who's truly a great evaluation contestant as well. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you.
Mehul Bhatti. Mehul, you mentioned poem writing, public speaking, and teaching as your interests. So I guess all of these skills are somewhat complementary to begging in some way. That's what it came about.
It's all about your... Am I audible? Yes. It's all about the profession you take. See, always speaking the same dialogue does not make sense. Every time you move to bus stop, you should have something new. So poem writing is required. And since sometimes queue is quite big at railway stations and such things, so you need to be good at public speaking for 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 minutes.
So there we have a truly district level, distinguished beggar, right? Okay, our last contestant now, what can a name can sometimes really signify a lot. We have a humorous speech contestant whose name is Funny Bhagwan. So can we have him on stage? Interests are theatre, public speaking, and blogging. I'm just wondering, considering the kind of performance we saw today, those seem very sober interests. Yeah. Is this something that you always wanted to do as a child, considering that your speech kind of embodied around school?
My speech is basically about acting. I had learned more about acting basically. It's a failure now. So I started learning how to act. That is the reason I can perform on the
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our round of applause.